Welcome everybody, Prosper Spotlight here. As you can see, we're outside of our studio again. And but we are going to be taking you to Shepherdsville, Kentucky, to a conference I was at, and I did an interview with Brother Bill Delperdange. It's hard to say his name. It's Delperdange, Delperdange. We'll get that up so you can see it. He interviewed me for a show on his YouTube channel. And we decided it was so good, we decided it needed to be on television. So we're going to play it here. We're going to take you there in just a second. And I think you're going to enjoy this. We talked about Israel and what's going on over there, what this war could mean, what this could lead to. And we talked about a little bit about the seventh seal book and Revelation. We talked about a lot of things. And so don't miss it. It's coming up in just a second. But before that, let me say this. If you're watching last week, you heard us say that this would be our final week, the 27th of October, on CTN, Christian Television Network. We have since prayed some more about this and begged God for his leading here, and had several calls from people who were concerned that they didn't want us to leave CTN. So what we're going to do is we're going to stay for possibly another month here. And we need you to help us. We need some of you out there who are not partners with us yet, not financial givers. We need you to step up to the plate if you can and become a partner with us. Go to the website. You can donate right there. It's real easy. There's 2 or 3 different donate buttons for you. You can send a check. You can call the 800 number, 888-505-SPOT, and talk to the ladies and find out how to give. Real simple. They'll take your credit card over the phone. We're burdened about this. We don't want to lose CTN if we can help it. But taking on pray.com like we are, starting any day, it's starting. It may have even be already started by the time this airs, or maybe coming up this coming Wednesday. We're going to pray.com. It's going to be on Wednesdays, and at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, and that's how you find us. It's an app that comes on your phone, iPad, tablet, whatever. Okay, so we need some of you to step up to the plate. We're going to try to keep this going for another month on CTN. And but we need some of you. We need somebody to give us a big jump here. Okay, we need somebody to give 5,000. We really do. Okay, we're going to go to the show. You're going to love the show, and so let's go there right now.
All right. So there's a lot going on in Israel right now, and I know that you keep up with the events in the Middle East and prophecy and all that. So I just was wondering, what your thoughts on it were, just anything in general.
All right. I actually did a couple of shows on this.
Okay.
I have been telling people on my show for months now that Ezekiel 38 is hanging in the balance.
Okay.
I mean, they could be headed down there right now while we're talking.
You're talking Gog and Magog, that battle.
Ezekiel 38, 39, Ezekiel, there's some other countries involved, but Ezekiel is the one everybody talks about. They're the bear from the north. There's no doubt about it. And Meshach and all, it's Moscow. It's Russia. That may not be Putin. He could die tomorrow.
Right.
But if it happens while Putin's alive and he's still in charge, Putin is the guy that's going.
Right.
Now here's what led up to this, and we'll bring us all the way back to the war that's going on now and fit it all together. But several months ago, and we talked about this on our show, several months ago, Mr. Putin made a statement, and it was carried on some news. Sadly, we don't get a lot of news about Russia.
Yeah.
Because our country has cut them off because they don't want us to hear the other side.
Right.
The sad thing is I don't trust our guys. Isn't that awful?
Yeah.
I'm a patriot. I served in the Navy for 4 years. You was in the Army, I think. Air Force.
Yeah. 22 years.
Yeah. I'm a patriot. I love my country. But isn't it sad that you can't believe most of what we're being told?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And so Mr. Putin made a statement. He said, the Golan Heights belongs to Israel.
Mm.
Now think about that. Why did he say that? Why did he make that statement? Now, did I say that right? The Golan Heights belongs to Syria.
Oh, okay.
I think I said Israel.
He said Israel, but yeah, it's Syria.
Mr. Putin said the Golan Heights belongs to Syria.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why did he say that? Because he's in Syria.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Syria doesn't have really much leadership. It's one of them countries that just floating right now. Mr. Putin is there. He has warships there. He has airplanes right on the border of Israel.
Right.
By the way, Israel's the prize.
Yes.
Everybody wants Israel.
Yeah.
There's more
particularly
wealth.
Jerusalem.
Yeah. There's more wealth there than any place in the world. It's the center of the world.
Yeah.
It's the time clock. It's when God talks about time and coming to the earth, he's coming to Jerusalem.
Yes.
The second coming, he's coming on a white horse, coming to, after he fights the Battle of Armageddon, mm-hmm. he'll come straight to the Mountain of Olives and then into the city. And I don't believe he's going to use the Antichrist temple. I believe there'll be something set up there, but and I don't believe the Temple Mount is the right place anyway. But that's for another day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not
I've heard that.
I'm not an expert on that.
Yeah.
But I've read what and Dr. Hilterbill is actually one of the guys that believes that that's not the right place.
Right.
And I trust his judgment. Mm-hmm. But I'm not strong on it where I could write a thesis on it.
Right.
He's not the only one. There's some other good men that I've talked to that believe the temple's down the hill in the city of David is where Solomon's temple was.
Okay.
But I don't think that matters. I think they're going to build this temple up there on that Temple Mount.
Right.
But it's the Antichrist temple. Who cares?
Right.
And but back to Mr. Putin. He makes the statement, the Golan Heights belongs to Syria because he's in Syria.
Mm-hmm.
He's got interest in Syria.
Mm-hmm.
And he plans eventually to go walk into Israel and take Israel. Thinks it'll be a piece of cake.
Yeah.
By the way, that mountain, the Golan Heights, here's what people need to realize. The Golan Heights is the mountains of the north that's mentioned in Ezekiel 38.
Mm-hmm.
The very place where the bear from the north is going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them, but most of them. I think 80% or something. It's going to be bad. They're going to suffer a great defeat in mm-hmm. those mountains. And, God's going to do it. But how does God usually do stuff like that? He uses men and armies. Mm-hmm. And personally, I think the Antichrist is the one that's going to save Israel.
Okay, maybe.
I can't prove all this. There's a lot of speculation. God doesn't tell us everything. But here's how I see this happening. And the fact that Israel's at war right now is just speeding it up even more. But because Israel's right now, they've already bombed Damascus.
Yes.
And I think the airport, but I'm kind of out of loop at the moment. I'm not sure. The last couple of days, I don't know what. Maybe they bombed Washington D.C. I don't know. That could be a good thing. But I'm joking. But I think. So Israel's also got Iran on the hook there.
Yes.
Iran's financing this thing. Their day's coming. And Iran and Russia are friends. They're allies in Syria. And so this gives Russia an excuse. You've attacked my ally. We're coming down. We're going to take the Golan Heights. By the way, I don't know if people realize this. The Golan Heights is a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
It overlooks Israel.
Yes.
What a strategic,
yes.
The Civil War, they talked about the high ground.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be as important in modern days as it was with black powder rifles, but there was something about the high ground.
There's still a strategic advantage. Yeah.
From that mountain, you can see most of Israel. I mean, it's there. And I doubt very seriously that even the Iron Dome and I doubt that they could take out most of the missiles
mm-hmm.
that close. That's why the Gaza Strip is so important.
Mm-hmm.
They need that buffer zone. So when the missiles come in, they have time to take them out before they get there.
Right.
From that mountain, the Golan Heights, it would be devastating if Russia took that or some other country took that.
It would be an open door into Israel.
If they set up missiles there, first of all, Israel, I don't see them letting that happen without a fight,
mm-hmm.
but because that'd be suicide. Once they get the missiles there, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to take you out. And so I can see these pieces falling into place. That's. And by the way, look, what's Russia got to lose? Look at them. The war in Ukraine was started by America.
Mm-hmm.
Kamala Harris and others talking. Remember, they were talking about Ukraine needs to join NATO.
Right.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, remember back in the 60s, this thing called the Bay of Pigs and all that?
Yeah.
Remember Russia was headed to Cuba with
Yes.
missiles. They're going to set up missiles in Cuba.
Yep.
JFK is the president. He said, nope, not on my watch.
Mm-hmm.
I know a preacher that was on one of them tin cans.
Okay.
That was headed there to cut them off, wondering, are we gonna be alive tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
World War III almost happened right there.
Yeah.
But Russia blinked.
Mm-hmm.
We set up a blockade. Our country said we're not letting missiles in 100 miles from our border.
Right.
We were right about that.
Mm-hmm.
Why would we be okay with missiles on the border of Russia? Why would Russia be okay? They wouldn't be okay.
Right.
Russia's doing that. I'm not a fan of Russia. I'm not a fan of Mr. Putin. But I do understand strategy.
Yeah.
I understand why Russia wouldn't want NATO missiles on their border.
Right. Ukraine. Right.
And we wouldn't want Russia's stuff on our border.
Yeah.
We wouldn't if Russia said we're taking over Mexico, we're going to put missiles on the border of New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't stand. I hope we wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't stand because you can't defend against that. I mean, minutes, they hit their target.
Yeah.
Right now, we got time to take out some of the missiles, but so all this you put all this together, and what do you got? You got the bear that's being poked.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about poking the bear. You poke a bear, that bear's he's backed up against the wall. Look, he's been accused of everything. He's been accused of voter fraud. He's been accused of trying, fighting the elections here in this country. I doubt very seriously he did any of that.
Right.
And the truth is, our own government did this.
Mm-hmm.
And so so if you're Mr. Putin, what do? There's a war in Ukraine that America started.
Mm-hmm.
We're funneling money in there, weapons, F-16. Who knows if we've even got people undercover fighting?
Right.
In that war.
Very possible.
Yeah. In
Black
fact, very
Ops.
probable. Very probable.
Black Ops.
And Russia knows that. And yet, so what do you do if you're Russia? You just, you're up there where it gets cold. I mean, they got no food. It's cold, and eventually you just say, you know what? I'm not taking this anymore. Where do you go?
Mm-hmm.
You go to the Golan Heights and you take it, and you just decide I'm going to take Israel.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to stop that. We know that because we've read the last chapter. God tells us what happens. They're going to die in the mountains. They're going to burn the weapons for 7 years. Now,
I was going to ask you about that.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I don't know what kind of weapon that is.
Well, a lot of people try and equate Gog and Magog to the end of the millennial reign.
Right. No.
Because it's mentioning those same locations, but it can't be. And that's...
No. And I've talked to Doc about this, and because he's good at some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Doc is my partner. And I said, Doc, can those weapons be burning during the millennium? He says, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Now think about this. Christ is going to come. He's going to set up the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to rule from Jerusalem. I believe the Bible talks about the millennial temple or whatever that's going to be there, whatever it is. He's going to look out his window and see smoke rising. I don't think so.
No.
So I think Doc's right.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be burning those weapons. Isn't it also interesting? 7 years.
Yes.
Burning weapons.
Yep.
The tribulation is 7 years. Is there a clue there?
Coincidence. Absolute coincidence.
In fact, the Jewish rabbis, the old Jewish sages will tell you there is no word in the Hebrew Bible for coincidence. They don't believe in coincidence.
Yeah, there's no such thing.
Yeah. So I think, now this is speculation again. I think Israel has got to do what it's got to do. They're already dealing with Gaza. I think they got to deal with these other countries. I think Iran's got to be dealt with. Mm-hmm. Iran is funding this thing, and death to Israel. If they could press a button and all Jews in the world would be dead, they'd have done it yesterday. Mm-hmm. They hate him, and us too. We're the great Satan. There's some truth to that, by the way. We're the pornography capital of the world, America.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of evil come from America.
Yes.
And again, I'm a patriot, but this isn't the country of the 50s anymore.
No.
You look at old pictures and old films of how people dressed and how they lived. The old Leave It to Beaver show, wasn't that 60s? In the 60s?
I think it was 60s. Yeah.
I know it wasn't 70s. So it's they came to dinner. He had a suit, had a jacket and a tie on.
Yeah.
Came to dinner. In the morning, he'd kiss his wife, dressed very modestly, very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
He'd kiss his wife, go out. He went to work. She stayed home.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's frowned upon. Now
Oh yeah.
that's racial. That's not right. And us women, we've destroyed our homes.
Yeah.
We got men and women both working, and now it's been drilled into our head that you can't make it on one salary.
Yeah.
We've been brainwashed to thinking that the husband and wife both have to work or you can't make it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can't make it if you're going to have a new boat,
Exactly.
a new car, a new house, and you're going to build a garage, and maybe we'll get an airplane. I mean,
yeah,
can't.
It's the lifestyle they're choosing.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, and we've been pushed into this. It's now accepted, and it's life now. We're and the wife's supposed to work. She's got a career. He's got a career. Sometimes her career overcomes his, and it causes a lot of problems.
Yes.
But the old Leave the Beaver show, it was not looked down upon. That was life. That was the life. That was the good life.
Mm-hmm.
They had a car. They had a house.
Yep.
They had money for college for the kids as they grew up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the names, but the older boy. Those boys are still alive. Every now and then I'll see something
Wally,
on.
I think.
Yeah. It was a different life then. And
Yeah.
these were middle-class people. These weren't the rich. These were middle-class families.
Right.
Now, sure, there were poor people, just like there always is. Jesus said the poor you'll always have.
Yes.
But life was different in our country then. And I don't know where we were going with all that. But,
well, we were talking about Israel and Russia, but but just life has changed, and you're absolutely right.
And so here we have Russia being pushed up against the wall. I'm serious about that. Everybody, I mean, Lindsey Graham and the warmongers of the Republican Party as well, and wanting to keep sending money over there and try to keep hitting Mr. Putin and provoke the bear to lash back.
Yeah.
And they may. And by the way, I mean, doesn't he have a right to defend himself?
Absolutely. Now, I've heard that there might even be another incentive for him to do it too. Want your opinion on it? Maybe you've never even heard of this. I don't know. But I've heard that Europe basically has two sources of natural gas. One is the Ukraine. The other is Israel.
I do know about that.
Yeah.
And this is recent. Israel is struck it big, and they're able to provide Europe's gas instead of Russia.
Mm-hmm.
And Russia's, I mean, that's their livelihood. Oil and gas is Russia's livelihood.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, didn't we blow up his pipeline?
We may have. There was a
did.
pipeline that blew up over there.
I think our fingerprints are on that.
Yeah.
No one's going to admit that to us.
Yeah.
But it wasn't him. They said, "Well, he did it himself." You got to be kidding me. You got to be people. Are people that stupid?
Slit his own throat.
Yeah. I blew up my own bank with all my money in it. Yeah, it's for the cause. That took some sophistication and some doing, and we're good at that kind of stuff. And we did that.
Mm-hmm.
And so Israel has gas, and we've done some shows on that as well, Doc and I, and have talked about some of the heated arguments that they're having because they want to supply this natural gas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, Israel's an amazing country.
Yeah,
and the wealth
yeah.
that's underground there, and
almost as if God had done that.
Yeah, they say under the Dead Sea, they said there's more wealth and minerals and diamonds and gems. I mean, then they said if you could just figure out how to get it, and they probably have figured out how to get it out by now. But we're so Russia's pushed against the wall. America, of course, our whole country is in bed with Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
The Biden crime family.
Yes.
Pelosi, probably some of the Republicans too, have made money over there. Remember the phone call that Mr. Trump got impeached on? The phone call. Mm-hmm. It was Zelensky on the other end of the line.
Right.
The guy who's there now, the actor.
Yes.
And he was the guy.
The president and
he
became one.
He was on the other end of the line. He was the new president there.
Yes.
And Trump simply said, you need to investigate this stuff. Something's going on over there. And he was that. Of course he needs to investigate it. And we need to investigate it. Mm-hmm. He was impeached over that. Mm-hmm. And now the facts all come out. All this stuff, the Russiagate, all that stuff, it's all a big lie. Mm-hmm. And yet we're still here and they're still bringing indictments against this man.
Yeah.
They're trying to destroy him because they hate him and they hate what he stands for.
Yeah.
So here we are. Russia's pushed up against the wall. America, they're being lied about, and they're being pushed, and they're gonna lash out. Now, they may lash out at us, and there could be war.
Yeah.
But it's very possible that his next move is to take his army and go to the mountains of the north, the Golan Heights. He's already got ships and stuff there. That could be the beginning of Ezekiel 38.
Could be.
And here's my theory, brother. And again, there's a lot of speculation.
Right.
God doesn't tell us all the nuts and bolts of how it all happened. But there are people, and you may disagree with me here, there are people, good people, who believe there's a gap at the rapture. They believe the rapture happens, and then the tribulation doesn't start. Some people say, one guy, a well-known guy that I know that's written books, believes that there's 5 months or more. In fact, he says the rapture, the tribulation begins at the fifth seal. And I say that's absolutely impossible. Now, that's a guy that doesn't understand what the seventh seal book is of Revelation 5. If you don't understand that book, the seventh seal book, in the right hand of he that sits on the throne, you'll never understand chapter 6 and chapter 19, because that is the opening of the seals for the tribulation period. It's God taking back what was originally his, the planet. And that's what that is.
I've heard it called the title deed for the earth.
That is what I call it.
Yes.
The seventh seal book, the title deed to planet Earth. See, Adam was given dominion. Note that word.
Yes.
And that's in the Bible.
Just control, not ownership.
Yeah. Dominion. Now, the word dominion literally means authority and power. God gave Adam authority over everything. But it means more than that. And this is something I just learned. This is Webster's 1820 dictionary. And I did a show on dominion before, and I missed this one little tidbit. I looked at the definition again, and I read it again, and something jumped out that I didn't see the first time.
Okay.
And it's this. It's not only authority and power, but it's authority without any, what's the word?
Oversight?
Yeah, but there's another word I use, and I can never remember it. Accountability.
Okay.
No accountability. Now, what does that make you think with this dominion? Where have we heard dominion in the last few years?
Dominion theology.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about elections.
Okay. The machines.
The dominion voting machine company.
No accountability.
You even mentioned something about, and they'll have the lawyers, and they'll hand you this piece of paper, and you're on notice. You cannot say that. People are being sued. Fox News was sued. They paid out millions of dollars. Fired Tucker Carlson, supposedly. That's what's this about the dominion voting machines? No accountability. Nobody can look. No one can look at the machines. No one can get inside them. Nobody can test them. They have no accountability.
Yeah.
It goes back to, it's all about a kingdom. God gave the kingdom to Adam. Adam forfeited that kingdom when he sinned. I realize Eve sinned too, but the bloodline comes through the man.
Right.
Eve could have died, and God could have made another woman, and Adam would have still been sinless, and the bloodline would have been fine. But they both sinned, and I believe there's a love story there. I believe Adam died to save his wife.
Yeah.
And they died, and they fell together.
Yeah.
And that's why Jesus.
The woman was deceived, but the man was in transgression.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, the woman was tricked. She believed what Satan had told her, had God said, and believed that the word was not right, the word of God. So all goes back to the Bible. Hath God said? Did God really say? Yeah. Is that really true?
Questioned God, then added to God's word when she added to it, and then
I think
flat
Adam,
out denied.
I think Adam might have told her that. I think Adam might have.
I think so too.
Because here's another interesting tidbit that's in my KJV book. Eve was not there. She was not created yet when God told Adam not to eat of that tree.
That's true.
Adam told Eve not to eat of that tree.
Most likely. We have no record of it, but that makes sense.
And he might have said, you know what, don't go near that tree. In fact, honey, don't even look at it. Don't even go near it. Stay away from it.
Isn't that what husbands do?
Yeah. Hey, don't get in the Hammerland on the highway, honey. And, don't get. I mean, in fact, don't take that road. Take the back road.
Yeah.
We don't want to get scratches on the car. So, so dominion. It's all about a kingdom. Kingdom of God. God gave it to Adam. Adam forfeited it when he sinned.
Yep.
Satan is the god of this world.
Yes.
And in Luke 4, you see the story where Christ is on the scene. He's fasted for 40 days, 40 nights. He's weak.
Mm-hmm.
And Satan comes at his weak moment, offered, there's, I think, 3 temptations or something.
Yes, 3.
One of them, the one that goes with our story here, is takes him up to a high pinnacle, shows him the kingdoms of the world, and he says, all this will I give you if you'll just bow down and worship me. And us preachers have always said, he just offered Jesus what he already owns. No, that's not true. That was illegal. That was a valid offer.
It was.
Satan is the god of the world.
Yes.
He did receive the forfeited planet, the title deed. And I look at it like this, and this is the book of Ruth right here. The earth is also under the curse. When man sinned, his body's going to die. Death has come. Satan is cursed. The woman is cursed in childbirthing. Man has now got to work by the sweat of his brow, but he also cursed the earth, thorns and stubble, and you got to work to till the ground. And Romans tells us the whole world groaneth in travail, awaiting the redemption. So the kingdom needs, if Christ is going to come back and set up the kingdom age, he's got to take back possession of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I used to ask preachers, why doesn't God just take us home at the rapture and set up the kingdom? Well, why the tribulation? I didn't understand it. I understand it now.
Right.
And I understand it because I know what that book is, the 7 seal book.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just take it. It's under a curse. It's like the book of Ruth. To redeem Naomi's property, you don't just say, well, yep, I want it, give it to me. No, it's got to be, there's a price to pay.
Yeah.
There's a price to pay to redeem the planet. And Christ is going to do that during the tribulation. That's the opening. John cries up there.
Mm-hmm.
When I do a PowerPoint on this, I'll make the point. He begins to weep in heaven.
Yeah.
I think he's just there in his mind. But I mean, who's worthy to open the book and to loose the 7 seals? Nobody.
Yeah,
nobody. It's cricket, nothing. Yeah. Suddenly, and John begins to cry. How come? Because he knows what that book is.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us Baptists don't know. He knew what it was. That's the title deed of the planet.
Well, that was awesome, man. By the way, there'll be a part 2 coming because we went another 25, 30 minutes on that, and you've only got half of it. We're probably going to give you some more clips out of that in a future show. Hey, pray for us. Call the 800 number. Help if you can. And listen, we're at the end of this thing. Let's give it all we got. Let's keep this on the air. Let's keep us on CTN if we can, okay? Until next time, keep your eyes on them skies.